Good afternoon. Welcome to Channel 44. I'm Masiga Shegu Sembata together with the Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. And
well, here is Bill Clinton to bring to you our very local stories in our afternoon bulletin. To begin with, the Judicial Commission recommends removal of Chief Justice Chisache. Justice Chisache is the first judge to be recommended to the President to have her removed from the from the office of the Chief Justice of this nation for having the purposes of investigation. The Judicial Service Commission recommended the President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to cause of the Justice Esther Chisache from the office of the Supreme Court. The Commission also recommended that Justice Chisache be investigated over alleged misconduct and verbal attack against the Chief Justice Alphonse Owino Ndoro during the ruling of her dissenting decision in the presidential election petition involving National Unity Platform Robert Kyagulanyi and President Museveni in March 2021. This was after the Judicial Service Commission, in its over-a-year-long investigation against Justice Chisache, who alleged misconduct, establishment that there exists some disagreement evidence, the prima facie case. The Commission is of the considered opinion that the prima facie case has been established through this inquiry of probable grounds of misbehavior or misconduct on the part of the Honorable Lady Justice Dr. Chisache according to the 8th Feb reports. The Commission added that Honorable Lady Justice Chisache, being a Justice of the Supreme Court of Uganda, the President appoints tribunal pursuant to the Article 144, Section 2, Clause B, 3 and 4 of the Constitution for the question of remarks. Mao calls on NUP to disclose the Constitution. Honorable Minister Norbert Mao, Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs, has struck up a political storm within the National Unity Platform with a demand to disclose the party constitution. Mao says a political party constitution cannot be a secret document. At the time like this one, members should know what is in their constitution. He requested them to account for their members. Mao also criticized the new party president, Mr. Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, for politically exterminating the old Chibarama party constitution. He strained that the original constitution has 26 articles, but the reinforced one by Mr. Kyagulanyi has only 10 articles. Outside the Pearl of Africa by Mercy Sembata Gashegu.
well, outside the Pearl of Africa in Nigeria, millions of Nigerians are anxiously waiting for results of the presidential and parliamentary elections, which are expected to be dominated by three political parties: the ruling All Progressive Congress and the opposition People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party, which was relatively unknown until last year. Hours before voting began, images showed that the Labour Party was missing from some Senate and House of Representatives ballot papers were widely shared on social media. Supporters of the party alleged that there was a deliberate plot to prevent them from voting for the party. And still about the Nigeria elections, early results have started to arrive from Nigeria's tightest election since the end of the military rule in 1999. Official results from the southwestern Ekiti state show a clear victory for the ruling party candidate Bola Tinubu in one of his strongholds. Further results are yet to be formally announced, and following the widespread delays and attacks on some polling stations on Saturday, voting was postponed until yesterday in some parts of the country. Voting continued through the night in some areas. Rishi Sunak and European Commission President are due to hold final talks on a new Brexit deal for North Ireland today. The Prime Minister and Ursula von der Leyen will meet in Berkshire in the afternoon to discuss complex challenges around the protocol. The UK wants to change the current agreement, which says some goods checked when entering Northern Ireland from the rest of Great Britain. A new deal has been expected for days. Deputy Prime Minister Dominic Raab earlier said the UK and the EU were on the cusp of a deal, that the EU had moved on some issues.
At least 59 migrants, including 12 children, have died and dozens more are feared missing after their boat sank in rough seas off southern Italy. The vessel broke apart while trying to land near Crotone on Sunday. Migrants from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Somalia, and Iran were on board. A baby was among the dead, Italian officials reported. Interior Minister Matteo Piantedosi, who visited the scene, said as many as 30 people may still be missing. Bodies were recovered from the beach at the nearby seas resort in Calabria region.
And huge rallies have been held in several Mexican cities against what protesters say are the government attempts to undermine the electoral authorities. The biggest was in Mexico City, where organizers say 500,000 people marched onto the city's main plaza. The local government put the number at 90,000. Lawmakers last week voted to slash the budget of the National Electoral Institute and cut its staffing. President Andrés Manuel López Obrador accuses the National Electoral Institute of being partisan. Opponents describe the recent vote as an attack on democracy itself, pressing the Supreme Court to overturn them as unconstitutional. The Israeli government and the Palestinian Authority have announced a joint commitment to take immediate steps to end a surge in violence. The move has emerged from rare talks in Jordan and was also attended by U.S. and Egyptian officials. The meeting agreed to support confidence-building steps and to work towards a just and lasting peace. As the talks took place, a Palestinian gunman shot dead two Israelis in the occupied West Bank. The Israeli military said it was pursuing the gunman and reinforcing troop numbers in the West Bank, deploying 2 additional battalions. It confirmed that one of those killed in the village of Hawara near Nablus was a soldier. And more than 600 people are now being investigated in Turkey over buildings that collapsed in the deadly earthquake on the 6th of February. That's according to the government. On Saturday, Justice Minister Becky Bozdag said 184 suspects, including construction contractors and property owners, had already been arrested. For years, experts warned that endemic corruption and government policies meant many new buildings were unsafe. The confirmed death toll in Turkey and Syria has now exceeded 50,000. Mr. Bozdag made the televised remarks from southeastern Turkey, where the 7.8 magnitude quake struck and was followed by another powerful tremor just hours later.
Billionaire technology deal maker Baofan is cooperating with Chinese authorities conducting an investigation. His bank reports. China Renancy Holding reports 11 days ago that Mr. Bao has gone missing. Mr. Bao is the chief executive and founder of China Renaissance Holdings and a leading deal broker in China, whose clients include top technology companies Didi and Meituan. The firm's shares slumped after Bao went missing, but rose on Monday. The board has become aware that Mr. Bao is currently cooperating in an investigation being carried out by certain authorities in the People's Republic of China.
And members of the party that governs Indian capital Delhi are holding protests across the country over top leaders' arrests for alleged corruption. Manish Sisodia, Delhi's deputy chief minister, was arrested yesterday by a federal agency of alleged irregularities in a liquor policy in the city. He and his ADM party, AAP, deny the allegations. Mr. Sisodia is set to be produced in court today. AAP members are protesting in Chandigarh, the capital of the Punjab state, where the AAP is in power. Protests have also begun in Bengaluru, which is Bangalore, and several other cities. And finally, in Mozambique, bodies from a cemetery on the bank of the Umbeleze River near the Mozambican capital Maputo have been swept by floods into nearby residents. Flooded many neighborhoods in Bowan district, about 25 kilometers southwest of the capital and beyond. The scattered bodies are reported to be endangering public health. Members of the community spent the weekend collecting the corpses. Well, that brings us to the end of this afternoon's news bulletin. Thank you for watching Channel 44. Pastor Jessica Kayanja is coming up next with the Marriage Now program, a beautiful lunch hour program that enhances our spirits and grows us both spiritually and physically. Bill.
And of course, enjoy this bit of rainy season as you continue to be blessed by whatever is taking place at Channel 44, the best name in television.
God bless you and enjoy your afternoon.